great, but it's all about mobile homes. And so I'm like, oh, really, I need to I need to hear about this. I really need to
Right.
hear. So I did. And then I also did investigating on, just more about it, on the internet to find out, who's talking about it, what's what, on and on. And as I did that, I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely mobile homes. That's, I'm needing to do that. That's for me. So
Okay.
I wanted to get deeper into it. And then that's when I became introduced to you.
Okay, here we go. All right, we live, guys. This is Kelly from Hills, Deals, and Wheels Mobile Home Investor Course available on Vimeo. And I'm so excited today. We got one of my students, Kelly Rochelle, in the house. She's giving us an interview. Kelly, thank you so much for coming here. Introduce yourself to
Hi.
everybody, Kelly. Introduce yourself. And you know what, guys? We're having some
Hi.
technical difficulties. Introduce yourself to everybody,
All
Kelly.
right. Okay. Well, hi, I'm Kelly Rochelle, Kelly with the Y. And I have been in real estate for about, I guess, over 20 years. I started as a real estate agent, actually. Um, and I did that for a while. I got introduced to a investor, actually, a real estate investor, who actually was asking me for properties. And I'll never forget because he kept asking me for these terrible looking properties, and I just could not believe he really wanted that. You know what I mean? I was like, he let me show him this. He was like, well, no. He was so patient. It was amazing because he should have just like threw me to the curb. But I kept showing him all the things he didn't want. So finally, for whatever reason, it clicked in my mind. I'm like, just show this man what he really wants. So I looked and I found him exactly what he asked me for, and he just bought it. And it was a cash sale, and it was simply the easiest thing I'd ever done in my life. And at that point, I realized I was, totally hooked on the whole, that part of the business because I enjoyed doing real estate as an agent, and I was good at it. But it's like, it's pretty annoying too. You always have people who are, my mother doesn't like it, or we've shown, and, there's a little speck right here and, just emotional reasons. And he was 100% not emotional. It was 100% logic. If you just bring me, it has to be this, this amount of money, this amount of repairs, and he would buy it. And he did just that. So I did business with him. And ultimately, I transitioned myself out of real estate as an agent and decided I wanted to be an investor as well. And so then I got into wholesaling, and that's how I started to wholesale real estate. So I
Okay.
started there, and that's how I got involved with real estate in general. But that's also how I got involved with mobile homes. If you want me to talk about that part right now.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, okay. He's not gonna talk and talk.
We here to listen.
Anyway, so with wholesaling regular properties, I it became, I started again, like I started a while ago, but I was also doing a lot of other things in the meantime. Uh-oh. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh,
We
okay.
guys,
That's it.
those of you who are listening, we're having a little technical difficulty with the internet, but we're gonna work it. We're gonna work it out. Go ahead, Kelly. Do your thing.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, anyway, I was doing it as a wholesaler. I was, really pretty successful with it. And I, in my orbit though, was a person, Jasmine Gittens, is how I found out about mobile homes actually,
Hmm.
because she was a wholesaler as well, and I knew about her. I didn't know her, but I knew she lived in Baltimore. I knew she did wholesaling, and all of a sudden, she started posting that she was about mobile homes and that she was actually transitioning her whole business into mobile homes. And that really got my attention because, if anybody else had said that, it would be, that's fine. I knew about mobile homes, from the past. I looked into it. I just, wasn't really interested or whatever. But here's this person that I technically know, and they are telling me, and they were also successful in wholesaling also in my orbit. And now you're saying that, oh, well, yeah, that was great, but it's all about mobile homes. And so I'm like, oh, really? I need to hear about this. I really need to
Right.
hear. So I did. And then I also did investigating on, just more about it, on the internet to find out, who's talking about it, what's what, on and on. And as I did that, I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely mobile homes. That's, I'm needing to do that. That's for me. So
Okay.
I wanted to get deeper into it. And then that's when I became introduced to you.
All right.
Yeah. That's-
That's
so I
the
got
best
introduced
part.
to you. That's the best part of the story.
Even though your name is spelled wrong, that's the best part. That's the best part of
I
it.
was just about to apologize to you that your name is spelled incorrectly. I'm so sorry. That's whoever spelled your name. But anyway,
That's another show. That's
that
another
is.
show.
We'll get to the bottom of that later. But anyway, that's funny. See, now you made me lose my train of thought.
No, you
Oh, we
told
were
me
talking
you
about
were
the course. Okay, so
Jasmine.
yeah,
Yeah.
I came across you, and what attracted me was that you had a course, and you weren't the only person that had a course. However, it was a course that I could afford. At the time, I was laid off, and all the other courses I looked into that looked, really good, looked really, very good, but they were higher price. And then the second thing is that you had said that you had taken all those other courses as well, and that you had the, ability to, have like, I felt like I was going to get distilled the information of those things too. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I did. Um, and I have to say that, the course was excellent, really was excellent. Also, I have to
Appreciate
also then
that.
both say, I'm sorry, what?
I said I appreciate that. I appreciate you
Oh,
saying that.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. It was, I really thought it was, very well put together, for information to be able to know, what to do. What I found as well is that there's so many different strategies of mobile homes. I had no idea, or I guess I could have thought that, but just like there's so many strategies in all type and regular real estate, there's so many strategies in mobile home investing as well. And so there's, everything. There's wholesaling. There's, the obviously fix and flip, and holding it and renting it, all that kind of stuff. So ultimately, kind of like in piecemeal and all that, and your course gave a really like a whole, you get an opportunity to buffet it and and see everything and get a feel for what everything is going to involve. And I knew that I felt like I was going to want to do wholesaling. I already kind of knew it, but of course it was good to see everything and know what's available and what's, to be done. And it's not going to go anywhere. But I wanted to focus on wholesaling specifically. And so for that, I went back to Jasmine, because wholesaling and then wholesaling virtually and then wholesaling mobile homes, boom, that's everything right there. So
Mhm.
however, she didn't have a course, but she had a challenge. So I went with the challenge. So between the challenge, um, I was able to. Part of it was the marketing. So what also attracted me to mobile homes, I didn't really mention that, but one of the things that really attracted me was the um, the marketing. Again, from what I found out or what I've heard from her was that everything that worked wonderfully in regular wholesaling, back in the day, um, that now is oversaturated and competitive and doesn't work, which of course I found that out and I had my own experience, now works in mobile homes. And so that was very attractive to me. So I, in fact, tried that out. I'm like, okay, I'm going to use one of my tactics that I used back in the day. And let's see if that's true. Absolutely true. Um, my one tactic that I used in the past and what I use very successfully with the mobile homes is something I've actually never really heard anybody really talk about specifically. It's direct mail, but it's a way that I do it that's different. I
Okay.
Most people do direct mail in bulk, like just send thousands and thousands and thousands of direct mail pieces, and that absolutely works. But again, my pocketbook wasn't accommodating that type of a mailing. And again, when I did mailing in the old days, I did not do that either, but I did do mailing. So I wanted to do it the way that I did it. And the way that I did it was with it's time intensive, but it was with an actual handwritten letter. I had a small list, a very, it's, very well-defined list of people who I was mailing to, but it certainly was not thousands. In fact, it was actually the number was 272 was my mailing that I sent to, and I sent them a
Wow.
handwritten mailer. And
Mm,
actually, I have a little example. I got some return mails back. You know how some addresses didn't go through. So
right.
this is what it looked like. I had colored envelopes. I hand wrote the letters. It was very short, very easy, very brief, and I'm happy to tell everybody what I did because it was also very successful. And I just
Hmm.
simply said, hi, Jacob, I'm looking to buy your mobile home for cash. Any condition, any situation, please give me a call if interested. Kelly Rochelle and my phone number. And that was
Wow,
it.
that's
So I
well, that's sweet.
wrote that
Hmm. Uh-huh.
as well.
That's uh-huh. So Kelly, tell me this. What was the color? Difference in the color. What was that all about?
Oh, that was just because it came like that when you bought it in the store. And like I bought it out of Target or Walmart or one of those places.
Kelly, I was waiting for
And
this mad strategy that you had about the color. I'm like, okay, this gonna be sweet.
oh
So
well, there is a
anyway,
kind of a strategy. I'm sorry, there is a strategy to the
mm,
handwriting and to the color, and it is basically is to make the person believe that it is an invitation or something personal, to make them open
right,
it, really. It's to make them open it, not to treat it as if it's, trash. But it's just, it's curiosity. Like, who is this? I don't know who this is, but surely it's something, interesting. I
right,
need to open it
right,
up.
right,
And so that is actually the true strategy. And then the different colors, and then it came like that in the store. They do come, you can get it
right,
multicolored in different ways. You can get
right,
it, all one color, but I chose multicolored because I wanted it to be, again, everything to make you believe that, this is some personal person that sent this to you. Maybe it's an invitation, maybe it's a wedding. I don't know. Let me look. And then when you look, it's a quick thing. You have a mobile home and you might want to sell it. And if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But what I didn't like was to have to chase people and call them to do the cold calling, all that kind of stuff. I did do it, but
mhm,
absolutely hate that. I hate begging you for something. You know what I mean? I don't
right,
want to do that. I want to ask you, I'm going to ask you a question. Hey, do you want to do this? If you do, then you call me back. You come to me. I'm not begging you. You know what I mean? That's
right,
just not for me. So, but
right.
also I didn't want to spend thousands.
Right. And you know what,
Either.
Kelly, me and my brother do a similar strategy, especially if we know that the tenant is older. We would do that same letter, handwrite it while we in the car, put it in an envelope. But before we put it in an envelope, we crumple it up and then we shove it in the
Oh,
envelope.
okay. I know
Studies
that's
have
right.
shown that people will have the likelihood of them opening it up is going to be greater if it's crumpled up, if that means anything. But that's what we have done. So that's a very good strategy. So Kelly, I asked you before we even got on here how many deals you did, and you kind of you were kind of shy about it, and you said one, but you've probably done one more than a lot of people have, and you actually have a couple of deals under your belt right now in the working, correct?
Yeah, it is. It is correct. And actually, that I was actually so surprised that you wanted me to be on the show, quite frankly, because I'm
Uh,
like, I am not some super mobile home person. I haven't closed all these deals or made all this, $100,000 and all this other stuff. And
mhm.
so I'm like, why on earth are you wanting me to be on this?
Kelly,
Uh,
you're killing the game. There are a lot of people who buy these courses and don't even do not one deal. So you're killing the game. And I'm not the only one who want to interview. Jasmine want to interview you too. So it gotta be
Yeah, and I
something
do
to that.
appreciate it. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. I really appreciate it. But I excuse me, I definitely am so pleased, and impressed with again the ability to have, to be able to also have been able to call you when I've
Mhm,
had questions. But back to the deal. So I have done that one deal and I do have some other deals under contract. I have from the mailing I got a phenomenal response back. I've gotten, phenomenal response. From the first mailing, I got like out of 272, I got like 14 people that absolutely said that they wanted to sell. And I've never had that before, even in regular houses. And then the people who said no were really polite. They were like, oh no, baby, I'm going to keep it, kind of
right.
thing. It was like that, but that was very successful for me, and I'm still working those people. The thing I found though is that they're a little slower, But the deal that I did, it was from that mailing. A lady called me, and she had a mobile home on her land. She wanted to have the mobile home removed off of her land, and she that's what she wanted. And so um, she said she would give it to me if I was able to do that. And I said, of course I'm able to do that. And so it became, however, it was like one of the most complicated deals I've ever done in my life to be free. It was so amazingly complicated. There were all kinds of issues with the title and a whole long story. The property also was in not great condition at all. And so anyway, took pictures, put it on the internet, and it was amazing. I got so much response. I got so much response, and I got so much negative response, but I got lots of positive response, but so much response, and it was just, but nobody was buying it either. People were looking at it, and people were
Right.
telling me how horrible it was and everything like that. Anyway, ultimately, people who did want to buy it, then they couldn't move it. Then it was a whole issue of trying to find a mover, and then how much that was and how hard that was to find, and one thing after another. I had it sold millions of times, well, at least 7 times, to be honest, seven
Uh-huh.
times, if I had a mover, for it. And so then I got a mover, and then and anyway, all kinds of things fell apart. Finally, I found this one buyer. He he ended up having his own mover, and everybody he got his own mover. He liked the place. It just was like magic. It just fell into place. Um, and I met him at it was really interesting. I met him at the McDonald's, and actually to give me the money, because he looked at the place alone, because I didn't go to see it. It was an hour away, and I
Mm.
had gone at once, and people were standing me up. I'm like, oh yeah, we're not doing this. So I made it a bit able to for people to get in, and if they were going to see it, then let me know if they had an interest. So anyway, we ended up he wanted it. I had the title. Let's meet at McDonald's and let's do it. Well, we met at McDonald's. He didn't want to go inside. It was so hilarious because it was this property is in. I always tease you about Clansville. Like, I live in Baltimore.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Baltimore. We just get that
Hmm.
in. But this mobile home was out far, like, in Clansville, sort of ish. So anyway, it's like, when he asked me where to meet. I'm like, yeah, let's meet where it's good for me. That's where we're gonna meet right where I live in Baltimore City. I live in the hood. I live around black people and lots of them. He, on the
Uh-huh.
other hand, clearly had never seen a black person before. Or if he had, I'm sorry, maybe he had seen him before, because he chose not to come. I was like a couple minutes late. I said, I'm just about there. He said, okay, so I'm going to the bathroom, and whatever. So I'm thinking we're gonna meet in the McDonald's at the table. That's my thought.
Right.
Sign the title, boom. But no, I said, so are you here? Like, where are you? And he's like, no, I'm in the truck. I'm like, okay, well, I'm here. He said, well, can you come to the truck? And I'm like, okay. So I come to the truck,
Right.
and I'm like, what else? Like, you want to do the title there? He's like, yeah, but he said, we'll do the title. My wife is going to sign it, but I just wanted to, make sure everything was good, and I can pay you here. I'm like, okay. So I got in the truck. He hands me this wad of in an envelope, and then he says to me, I just wanted to let you know, just so you know, I have a permit to carry a weapon, because I knew it was coming down to Baltimore City, and I didn't know where I was going to be or what was going to happen. And I was like, oh yeah, well, it's actually, quite safe. I walk here every day. I never get shot, so
Right.
it's perfectly good. Anyway, it was funny. He gave me the wad of cash, and he didn't even care about the title. That he just wanted to know that it was there, and that was it. Gave him that.
Wow.
Found arrangements for his place to move it, and that was my one deal done.
Wow. Wow. Now, Kelly, not that I want to borrow any money from you, but how much was that water cash? Can you share that dollar amount?
That was right. That was $3,000. That was
Three
$3,000 for
thousand
my
dollars.
free mobile home.
Three thousand
It
dollars
was,
from a
and actually,
free mobile home.
I had gotten a couple other offices. I had gotten other offers too, and but I really didn't take them. They were lower. I kind of just
Mm.
said no.
Right.
But yeah, it was
But
three
but Kelly,
thousand. That's how it is.
but Kelly,
Yes,
even
ma'am.
if you would have took those lower offers, what were you
I
out of?
could have.
Time and
I
some
was out of
envelopes and
time
some paper from the
and some
dollar store,
envelopes. Yes, ma'am. That's
right?
true. That's so true. That was
So it's
free.
this
It was
amazing.
out
Could,
of time.
Kelly, could you have done this in the real estate business?
No, certainly not that fast. Certainly not that fast. That was the
Yeah.
other thing about mobile homes is the speed. There is no way to close a deal, a house that quickly. In fact, I'm experiencing that now because my deal I'm working on currently is a deal that's on land, and we're having some issues. So it's taken a minute, but it's in it's in the title work. Um, and then
Hmm.
I have a couple other things under contract that just need buyers for them. However, they're also on land, so they're taking a little bit longer. But the
Hmm.
straight up mobile home transaction without land is the quickest thing I've ever seen.
Right. Right. And ones you don't have to move, those are the quickest. And that's what I teach everybody. If you want to try to move a mobile home, it might be some serious delays involved in that. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So Kelly, out there where you live, how do you go about closing the deal, the paperwork? How do you go about doing that?
Okay, so with the mobile home that was on that was on that was on land that we moved or that he moved, excuse me.
Mm,
That paperwork was the according to Maryland, it was the title needed to exchange on the back, and a bill of sale
mm,
needed to be done. Did not need to be notarized. It just needed
okay.
to be done. And that is the paperwork. I gave that paperwork along with the key to the mobile home to the buyer, and he gave me the cash, and that is it. He then has to go to motor vehicle and register the title, and pay the fee and do whatever else they want him to do from there. But
Mm,
I'm out of it at that point.
okay. So what about the taxes?
The taxes are paid by the buyer. So
Hmm.
okay. So here's the thing: on the bill of sale, the bill of sale has the price on it. But on my bill, so that's where the taxes are paid based on the bill of sales price, and that's paid at the motor vehicle, and that's paid by the buyer.
Okay.
Did that
Okay.
make sense?
Okay. Yeah. So Kelly, when you got this free mobile home from the seller, what was the transaction between y'all? What paperwork did you need in order to show, hey, now or did you ever take ownership of that mobile home?
Yeah, I never did take ownership of the mobile home. I did not.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, I should have, and but I did not. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did.
Right.
I left it in that name, and I left it there, and then I just gave it to him as here. Um, that's where it was. So it was actually a $2,000 transaction that had been done in the past. He
Mm-hmm.
paid 3,000 for the mobile home. He would have paid 3,000 in tax if that's what we wrote down on the new bill of sale. Instead, I gave him one for the one that she had for $2,000. It was all in their name. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. That was totally not. I guess no one should emulate that, But
Right.
you asked me what I did, and that's exactly what I did. My name is on none of it, nothing, and
Exactly.
no one, no how. So that's
Right.
it. I'm just that's how I did it. So I don't
So
really
Kelly,
actually. I guess when I
mhm,
do it again, I'll find out the real way to do it. But because I got
right.
all these deals on land, I already know how to do them because they're on the title company. So
Right. So Kelly, when you presented him with the title, he didn't say, "Hey, who's Joe Blow?" Because your name's not on there. He didn't ask you
I
about the
explained to him.
previous.
I explained to him. I explained to him. I explained it to him, and
Uh,
I just told him that's what's happening.
okay.
That's it. I
Okay.
just did it. I just acted as if this is how it is. That's just how it is. Here it is.
Right.
This is what you do. I showed him the information, um,
Uh,
and it was the person who owned the property. She had it was I forgot now. Oh, there was a document about from the court that had changed the name or something like that. And I had that document, and that document was notarized. I got that from her. She just gave it to me, and she just gave it to me. So I took it, and that document, because I asked her what did she have that proved, because I needed to know what proved that she owned it for my personal
Right.
thing. He didn't ask me, but I asked her. So she gave me what I needed to see that she owned it. And now that I knew
Okay.
that she owned it, then that was good enough for me. So then I was supposed to then take that from, I really do know what I'm supposed to do. I was supposed to take that, go to the motor vehicle, put it in my
Mm,
name, pay the fees, get the title back in my name, and then go from there with the title and with the buyer. That's the actual
right.
proper way to do it.
Right.
It's
Right.
actually not proper to do it the way that I did it, but that's
Right.
the way I did it anyway because that's what I just wanted to do it that way. I chose not to do
Well,
that.
it works. I'm just shocked that you didn't have to get a power of attorney from the seller. That's what I'm shocked about, how this transaction all worked out. But it worked out, so that's the main
No,
thing.
yeah, you don't know. In fact, I called the motor vehicle to ask them because I wanted to be sure because there's so much. Again, that was really one of the bigger things because there were so many different people saying so many different things because in different people's areas we need. And I was like, well, what would make you know, because this has the seller's signature on the title. How do you know that that's the seller's signature? And she said, we have it on file. So I'm like, okay. So I took it at that. So I said, does it need to be notarized? She said it does not. In fact, I called twice because I wanted to be sure that, who'd you talk to? We will. That's not our policy. You know, when you call
Right.
places and then you get
Right.
different answers.
Right.
So I said, let me call
Mm,
again and talk to a different person at a different time and make sure that this is actually the policy. The same person, the next person told me the same thing. I'm like, cool, don't need a bill of sale. So that was it. I just took from it. She did say though that what I was doing, that direct route was not
uh-huh.
correct. She did, that was clear
Okay.
to me that that was not the way to do it. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, and then did it
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm just shocked you didn't need a power of attorney, but it works out. So, Kelly, before we get too far away from these questions I got, because I kind of got it a little organized. So, are you still in the real estate business, or you're done with that? You're just strictly mobile homes?
No, in fact, I'm still in the real estate business.
Okay.
I was done with it for a minute, but I'm back into that, and also land as well, because it turns out that mobile homes and land, I'm finding are kind of going together, like peanut
Okay.
butter and jelly a little bit, because
All
people are
right.
wanting both. So I've actually invested in a land course because I find that that's really fascinating and a really big chunk of money that people are really sleeping on, including myself.
Yeah.
So that's where
Mm,
I'm going to. But so yeah, I'm definitely all three of those are in my
mm,
basket.
mhm. And
But
so,
mobile
Kelly, what,
homes
what 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 is the name of that course, if you don't mind me asking? Because I actually invested in Marlon Williams. He does a lot of deals on land. What's the
for
course that you're
land.
going through?
This is not the land. This is the I'm sorry. The course I bought was a MLS course, but this one is the one I'm going to do is Brent. I'm not Daniels. Brent Bowers. Brent
Okay.
Bowers. It's Land Sharks. Land
Oh,
Sharks
okay.
with an F, dark
Okay, I'm
dot
gonna have to
com. And
check that out because I can never get enough information. So, Kelly,
find that one.
say but frozen
Oh no,
up
I just have
now.
that one. I think he's really good. Am I back?
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
I can hear you.
okay.
So, Kelly, where do you see us as investors if this pandemic was to hit? Where do you see mobile home investors? Will we still
Um,
thrive, or it's going to be an issue, or
I
what's going
think
to be?
so. I think it's
Which
going to
one?
be. I think it'll definitely thrive. I feel like mobile homes are going to thrive anyway because of the whole epidemic of the need of affordable housing and how that's so. It's like the hot button that everybody's talking about, but because it's actually true. And what is more affordable than mobile homes? So I think it's going to just do nothing but increase.
Okay. All right. And you know what, Kelly, I had to apologize to you because you actually posted what I thought was your second deal. You're in the process of doing that, and I got in a serious argument with a guy over your post because you posted the mobile home as is, right? It had a lot of
Right.
clutter and stuff in it and whatever. I mean, I personally probably would have cleaned it out, but I'm not sure. Were you in close proximity, or you didn't even want to deal with cleaning it out? What was
No, that
going
was
on?
the thing. So that mobile home was actually in it's in from here, it's 3 hours. I'm sorry, 3 hours away from
Wow.
me. It's in
Right.
still in Maryland, but it's on the eastern shore of Maryland, which is 3 hours, three and a half really hours away. So I
Uh-huh.
had no intention of driving there. This was another one where he was pretty much just giving it away. He hadn't even been there for however long, but I asked him to send me the pictures, and so that's what he sent me. So I'm like, whatever. Here it is. If you don't
Mm.
like it, you don't have to buy it, right? I'm
Right.
thinking, but yes, it's
Right.
got a bunch of junk in it. Factor that into your cost, if in fact you're interested. Know that you're going to have to clean that out, or say I'm going to have to clean that out, so I'm not interested. But that was
Right.
my thought. But yeah, so that one, no, that was the deal that I have, but I'm trying to sell.
Right.
I am trying to sell it. I'm probably going to. We have to talk now because he's finding. Anyway, that's another story. But yeah, that's not sold. That one isn't sold. That one is under contract to sell. So
Wow.
you were right in that it's under contract, but it's not actually sold yet. And yes, it's a big mess.
Right,
Yeah, and
right,
it's old.
right. But the guy who messaged you, oh, he made me so mad. And I said, I'm gonna have to apologize to you because we went on for several minutes, me pretty much cursing him out, he cursing me out back and forth, but
Oh
he don't
no,
know the whole.
I didn't at all. I didn't even know that was going on. If I had known, I would
Oh
have actually.
yes,
I
yes,
knew it later on afterwards when I saw it. I was like, oh my God, because I don't know what I was doing, but I knew I wasn't at my phone. And
yeah,
I was
because
like,
he
oh my
doesn't
God,
know
so
the
I had
whole deal.
seen that. I
Yeah,
did. I saw
yeah,
it. I did. Well,
he
I
don't know the
appreciate
whole
you having my
story.
back.
Oh yeah, I was so furious. I said if I could jump through the computer, I would I choke the shit out of him because he didn't even
It was
understand that you lived
crazy.
hours away. And that's what it is. Either you're gonna take the mobile home as it is with the clutter in there, or you're gonna clean it out.
Right.
Either
Or you're
way,
gonna
like
click on to the
you gotta
next ad and say that's not the one for me. That's
ex-
trash, and keep it moving. I
exactly,
just can't
exactly.
imagine what makes you have to comment. I just
Comment,
don't get that.
comment.
If it's
Why do you have to
trash,
comment?
if it's horrible, then okay, then don't buy it. Click,
Right.
keep on clicking. Nobody's making you do it. I just don't get.
Right.
I just don't get that. I just
Oh,
don't get it.
he made me so mad. But the funny thing about the whole thing, Kelly, and I didn't tell you this part. One of the ladies that were like kind of mediate between me and him, because we were going at it. Uh, he later backdoored her and say, "Oh, I got a mobile home for sale." Well, shit,
No,
excuse
he
my French.
didn't.
You should have said that in the beginning instead of bashing her stuff. You knew you were trying to
Right.
sell a mobile home, you know. But I'm not gonna get off of that. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to
That
apologize
was
to Kelly
funny.
because this guy had pissed me
No
way off, way off.
apology
So
necessary. I thought it was great in the end, but I was sorry that you even had to ruffle your feathers at all.
oh,
But I was like, I thought it was cool. I love the big
and then
sis feeling.
he said, I know where you live. I'm like, I'm retired military. I don't think you want to come over here. But if you know where I live,
Not
you're
really.
welcome. You're
Come
welcome.
on through, right?
You're gonna spring a leak, that's for sure,
Because
once
look,
you get
Texas
here.
for real got some guns. Look, Texas always got their guns out. That
So
is
Kelly,
funny.
what are the obstacles besides having these kind of idiots with these crazy messages? And I just don't understand when you're an investor, you post your mobile home and other investors have negative comments. That's just crazy. What other obstacles besides moving? And like I said, I do not recommend moving out the gate. It's a big challenge, as y'all can hear. Kelly is telling you it's a challenge. What other obstacles have you had since you've been in the mobile home business? And Kelly, you've been in the mobile home business approximately how many months?
Um, February, since February, so I guess 2 months.
About 2
Yeah,
months. 2 months and
yeah.
already killing the game. That's why I wanted to interview you because in the beginning, Kelly, you was like, I don't even want to go inside the mobile home. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work. Kelly don't want to go inside the mobile
It
home.
was. I'd never been in one in my entire life. Never. That was the first one I'd ever seen ever in my whole life. And it was
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah, I'm like, okay, but I went into it. Yeah, I sure did.
Wow. Wow. So any other obstacles besides, an
Oh, I'm
idiot
an
making a
obstacle. I'm
stupid
sorry.
comment? Mm,
Um, Let me see. I guess my obstacles right now would be oh, so I did a bandit signs. That was my newest thing because I had done, like I said, I did the mailing. The obstacle there, I think, has been that the people that my mailing has attracted, although it attracted lots of people, those people are kind of not ready yet. They're like, not in a hurry. Maybe they're more like, oh, they're not in any kind of pressure. They want to
Right.
sell it, but they're not pressed to kind of feeling. So
Hmm.
that's why it takes longer, a little bit longer, but it'll come. I feel like they're coming later. But so I want to do the bandit signs. So that was one obstacle. I feel like I would rather have a quicker turnaround than a slower one. So, I guess
Okay.
it's not technically an obstacle, but that's an obstacle to me,
Right.
I
Well,
guess.
Kelly, we
As
actually
a
did our
business.
bandit signs together. Don't you remember? We actually did our bandit signs together. You don't remember that? Back in
But
like December and January was very slow, and I said, "Hey, I'm resorting to doing a bandit sign because me and my brother had never done bandit signs, and you were sharing
oh,
your
right, but
bandit
I never
sign."
did them. I talked about them. I never did them. I never did them.
Did 'em.
I
We
never
actually,
did them.
yeah, we did. We did.
Are you
Uh,
sure?
huh?
Um, are you sure that was me?
That was you, 1,000% sure, because you were showing me your design, and I was showing you my design. Yeah, yeah. You
Oh
actually,
yeah. Okay. And I ended up doing them in handwriting, and I actually didn't do that. I didn't order those.
yeah,
I ended up ordering blank signs.
yeah.
But I
I
do
got, I
remember
got.
I was designing it, but I never actually
I don't know
ordered
if you
them
can see
and used
mine.
them.
Yeah, you can't see
I
mine because
do.
my
I
thing
do
too.
remember.
Yeah,
I
so
do
we
remember now.
actually did
Yeah,
our bandit signs together because I had never
that's that
done a
old
bandit
timey.
sign, but it got slow late December and January. I said, Kelly, I'm going to have to do a bandit sign, and you showed me your
I
design,
do
and I
remember
showed you
now.
mine.
Sorry.
Yeah, and we
I'm
and we
sorry.
wind up ordering, but we've only put 10 of them out. We only put 10 of them out, and then after that, it picked up again. So it's really, in my opinion, it's really never slow in the mobile home business. So anyway, that was interesting. So have you
Well,
been putting
speaking of
out the
killing
bandit
it,
sign?
Miss. I said, speaking of killing it every day, she's got another
I'm
with a
trying to
whole
kill it.
you are now. That's what killing it is. That's what I felt like now. That's what I felt like I would be on a show when I was doing some stuff like that.
Kelly, you're already killing it. There are some people watching right now that haven't even done one deal. You've only been in my course for 2 months. You've done one deal. That is saying something. There's a lot of people. It's only going to be a small percentage of people who actually take action, and you took action. You really took action, and
Yeah,
I'm proud if it means anything, but I'm very
I'll take
proud. I really am.
it means a lot. It does. It means a lot. It
Well,
does. It
I
does. Thank
greatly
you.
appreciate that. So, Kelly, are you interested in like any joint ventures? Can somebody contact you and say, "Hey, Kelly, I got this deal," or would you be open to something like that?
Absolutely. In fact, people have started to send me some things or ask about that, and I definitely would like to do that for sure. Yeah, for sure. 'Cause I definitely did it
Okay.
in regular real estate, and I'd love to do it again. So yeah, people can reach me. Just you can give me a call. Call
Okay.
me
Yeah. Do you have a contact number,
whatever.
email?
Yeah, they can just call me at my phone number. If I am available, I'll answer, and if not, leave a message, and I'll call you back. 443-813-4805 is my number. You just give me a call. I'm also on Facebook and
Okay,
stuff. But
I'm back.
oh, you were gone?
Yeah. Tell me one more
Oh,
time, Kelly. Do you have a contact
yeah. I have a 443. You want to put
information
it in
to
you
share
want to
in
put it
case
in the
somebody wants to do
chat?
a JV with?
Yeah, they can call me on my number. Can you hear me? Because you're
Yeah,
blanking
I
out.
can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
So
Yeah.
443-813-4805.
Okay. Okay.
Did you
And
hear?
so, Kelly, where do you see yourself 5 years from now in the mobile home business?
Yeah. So actually I see myself I see it intertwined. My mobile homes and land really connected a lot. I see um myself. I see my business expanding. I see my son being in my business, working in it, and you know, being in it as well somehow. And we're still trying to figure out where that's going to be, how that's
Okay.
working out. I want to do, I think mobile homes and land I like together. I like the two together. I like, you know, the idea of buying the land and putting a mobile home on it and the either, renting it. Yeah, that your renting strategy or selling it, whatever it's going on. But I like that idea. But I definitely see myself doing that somehow, and hopefully, maybe in some way providing, those homes, that we're talking about, because it's also, although it's doing good, there's also a lot of government money, and I'm trying to learn how to get that helps when you provide low income and affordable housing.
Mhm.
So that would be, I want to try to tap into some of that for funding, but that's so those are my longer term goals.
Okay. Okay. So Kelly, do you have any words of encouragement for somebody? I mean, even though you are still a newbie, but you're a newbie, you're doing some deals. Do you have any words of encouragement for somebody trying to get into this business? Or somebody who might have
Sure.
analysis paralysis?
Sure. I think so. I think that, and thinking about it too, because maybe I can give advice because I'm not, some big wig. I am, starting, in mobile homes. So maybe, my advice can be helpful. And probably I think the biggest thing I would say would be, to do some consistent, a money making, income producing activity every day, something that's producing income, because a lot of things are busy work, things that
Mm,
that I know that I've gotten to do that's not an income producing activity. But even, as long as you do the busy work, but as long as some part in the day there's income producing activity every single day, to get you toward your goal, you can't help but get there. So that would be the biggest thing. And also, to get obviously education, you have to know what you're doing. And there are there are two ways of getting education. You can learn it on your own. Any intelligent person can absolutely learn anything on their own. If it can be learned, you
mm,
can learn it.
mhm,
Um, but it's just a matter of the time it's going to take for you to piece it together, and also the ability to have someone who, I think, just having someone who's actually already done what you're trying to do, and then is willing to then tell you what to do and how to avoid, the mistakes. To me, that just seems ridiculous that you wouldn't use that. So I would definitely buy, the most and best course you can afford. I definitely recommend Heels, Deals, and Wheels course,
I
um,
appreciate it.
for knowledge and information. And definitely you need to have someone that you can ask questions to. You need to be able to have interaction. Also, community is really important. To be involved in a community of people, because, I'm quite sure all of us have, no one in our lives has any interest in real estate that much, let alone mobile homes, and certainly don't want to talk about it on and on and on as much as, you know, I do, or, we do. And so a community of people who are as equally as excited about this business, as you are, so that you can, see other people's success. And it does really give you inspiration to see, like, wow, this is a person and they're just doing it and I can do it too. So I um I would recommend those things. Get educated and get into a community, and let somebody tell you what to do so you can avoid the mistakes or make them on your own. But I just recommend avoiding the mistakes, first,
Right, right, right.
and take action,
All
of
right,
course.
Kelly. I really appreciate your time on here, Kelly. And there you guys have it, Kelly Rochelle. She's like, I don't know why you put me on here because you're doing the thing. You are doing it, Kelly. I'm so proud of you. Like I said, I don't know if you care or not, but I'm proud and I'm excited
I
because
do.
initially
Thank
I'm like, Kelly, talking about, oh, I ain't going in no mobile home. I'm thinking, okay, I don't know how this gonna work out. And I said, well, maybe she's just gonna do the virtual thing. I don't know, but thank you so much for being on here, Kelly. I greatly appreciate you getting on here
you.
and spending some time with us.